heard about the translation. I first heard of it when it was first published. That's about, what, 9 years ago? Something like that, 8, 9 years, something like that.
Was it 19? I think you're right, 8 or 9 years ago, Nancy, yeah. Let's see, publication ratio, I think. 67, yeah. Goodness.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, and I was terribly opposed to the whole idea. Of course, I've always been a great fan of literatures in translation. I'm very grateful to the great translators of Chinese, Japanese poetry, for instance, and French poetry and German poetry. Although I know French and German, I always enjoyed reading these works in bilingual editions or the two-language versions. And yes, when it came to a musical work in translation, my hands went up and I said, no, you cannot touch this. It's sacred. It's high art and it's festival, pure white, and it can't be done. So when the first, my introduction to it was when we ran through a couple of the songs to see how we would get along. As a great skeptic, I changed my mind completely in the course of the first song, and now I have the zeal of a pounder. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to go into the same thing, and I think how we can do that best is a demonstration of something.
Right.
Could you hear something? What would you like to do? What's that?
What do you say if I speak the introduction? I do my spoken prologue, and then we do, say, those two songs. To give heed to the music now and then. A modest tale I will unfold for you, and though my tale is old, the telling is new. A simple tale, ingenuous you may say, of German country work, a bygone day. Now should you dread lest I become too free, bold but well-mannered, let my motto be. Have done with that polite remarks, I must say. Let us approach the substance of our play. Although my tale be told in form of song, to call it yet a play is not far wrong. As to the scene, the time of year is spring, and nature's bounty covers everything. A mill is there, the wheel turned by a brook that passes on to many a shady nook. And though the brook does have a word to say, it is not quite a person in our play. We here tell of a hunter, gun and hounds, and now and then a hunting horn resounds. Sun, moon, and stars all play a minor part. Wind, rain, and dew, such things as move the heart. But just one person shall we tale and see. A young, blonde-headed Milleress is he, the only full-fleshed feature in our play. A monodrama, you might rightly say. Yet is there still one loveliness to show. I name it not. You soon enough shall know. And now, the curtain rises on our play, and I shall let the music have its way. Wander is the miller's joy to wander. Wander is the miller's joy to wander. A wretched miller he must be who never fancies to these means and wander and wander and wander. Some of it is quite explicit, some of it is you simply tell from each song what must have happened. But essentially it's the tale of a young miller who, because the water and the mill wheel and the millstones, everything around him is turning like every other miller, he needs to wander, he says. Movement is part of the life. So he asks his master, miller, to turn him loose from his apprenticeship, and off he goes. Comes upon a stream gushing out of the mountain. Seems to him that the stream is whispering to him, come, follow me. And he thinks, is this my fate to follow? The road is the road for me. He follows the brook. The brook leads into another mill. There lives a master miller with his daughter. He falls in love with the girl, of course. He courts her. And there are many other apprentices there, and he thinks, why should she notice me? I'm not stronger or faster or cleverer than any of the others. Why should she notice me? He goes to the brook for advice. What shall I do about this? The brook won't answer it. And he says to the brook, you led me into this. And now you're mute when I need your advice. But after some courtship songs, finally, apparently the girl agrees. And he sings an insulting song. And then the mood changes. There's an interlude song in which one sees the pictures him sitting in his little cubicle maybe at the mill, and his lute is hanging on the wall. And he looks at the green ribbon, and he thinks, yes, I cut some of that ribbon off for her hair because that was her favorite color. And he hears a chord, a sound from the lute strings. And is it wind? Is it the wing of a bee that has touched the strings? What is it? And furthermore, is that chord the echo of events that have already happened, or is it the prelude of things to come? The cycle then changes, and a hunter appears on the scene. big, rugged, masculine figure on pictures impressed in leather, you know, several days worth of beard and hunting horn and dogs and guns. And he immediately says it's a dangerous rival. And sure enough, the girl jilts him for the hunter. And he soon goes again to the brook for advice. The brook can give him no help. And finally, he gives up and sings to the brook and says, comfort me, comfort me. You led me into this, now it's over, comfort me. The last song is a song sung by the brook, a lullaby. And the brook is singing a lullaby to the boy who lies in the bed of the stream, and cool, mossy pool, and one realizes that he has killed himself.
But apparently not everyone realizes it. The last time we performed this in public, there was a reception afterward and quite a lot of talk about it. One young woman said, oh, you know, she was having an argument with her two friends about whether the boy did in fact commit suicide. And she said, oh, I lost interest in what happened to him. I just thought the water was magnificent. And she began to talk about the brook and the imagery of the water, which is really mostly in piano part. And I was reminded of an experience I had in the movies. When I saw Redbeard, that magnificent Kurosawa film, I fell entirely in love with Redbeard and realized that I had only understood half of the movie. Of course, there is another half to that story, too, which is the realization of who this Redbeard is, and of course that's what happens in the cycle. It's almost a parallel kind of form. There is a turning point, and one must simply realize that the brook becomes a force which isn't all that happy. But I was very interested that a young American person, not particularly schooled in the culture of the early 19th century, hadn't learned any standard interpretations of any of these images, had just fallen for it, you know, so totally and so naively and so marvelously. She really injected an element of reality to this that I understood. I felt I understood very well in terms of similar strong attachments that I formed during certain performances.
You're right. The romantic element is so powerful.
Yeah,
Schubert, obviously, even to do away with the text and just listen to the accompaniment, you feel the brook, you feel the in the accompaniment. The accompaniment itself, I feel, is a great piece of music, and it's what we have.
The very constancy of the rhythm, which poses so many problems to the neophyte opening these accompaniments for the first time. We constantly repeated triplets, sextuplets, 16th notes. I would provide the sort of volatile element in the rhythm of the songs, especially, and this is where I feel the element of comprehension is so totally important, that the emotional imagery suggested by the words is what times all those minuscule spaces between all those very many rapid notes. It gives the accompanist a tremendous amount of liberty. What seems to be such a rigorously controlled accompaniment is actually a very free one, because the rate of change is constantly under the fingers of the pianist.
I have always thought that possibly what Schubert might be doing here is presenting the forces of nature in the accompaniment instrument, and that freedom aspect of man, and the obvious join of the two, and that is so well demonstrated by the last two songs we just listened to, and those repetitive figures. And I imagine if you listen to nature and just it by itself, if you can separate yourself, you do the gurgling, the brook, the feeling is there, and he's really pulling the natural sounds in, and then he just takes what every genius has the ability to do and add what you just said is the beat, the melodic line of width, and join this unity so beautifully together.
Nancy, I feel there's a touch of it's partly a genuine, realistic, but romantic romance. but there's also a touch of only the real event, but also there's to me a touch of fairy tale. And also particularly that kind of dark Schwarzwald German fairy tale. There's a touch of that in it, you know. I feel that in Miller's poetry, and I think this is part of what she was responded to, and I hear it in the music, I hear it in the piano, there's a touch of fairy tale.
Oh, yes, I definitely agree.
And that book on our album cover, we have a picture of a book, that's all. No people. There's this book, which is the silent, not so silent, this is a central character in the, it's almost, we feel that it's almost as though the book leads the boy into this adventure, then almost as though the book is jealous of the girl perhaps, and doesn't help him in the courtship, and finally when the girl jilts him, he goes to the book and gives himself to the book, so to speak, and drowns himself, and the book sings the melody. There is, a matter of fact, a verse in which the book practically says to the girl, stay away from him. Don't even let your shadow fall on him now. You had him and you scorned him, and now he is mine. And the book practically says
Pretty
this.
powerful stuff, yeah.
The book practically says this. It's almost as though the book has led him into the love affair, and then is jealous of the girl, so to speak, and now there is a contest between the two, so to speak.
The triangle,
yeah.
one of the characters in the triangle is a bit of Agnes nature.
No, whether that's explicitly in the story, I feel that in my mind, and I think we both, Nancy and I, performed the cycle in a sense. We roots into that kind of feeling about it, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Doesn't that give you the opportunity to be more of yourself in a performance when the storyline or when it's not very, very clear of exactly what's happening? You get personally involved, and your interpretation may be shared by many people or may not be, but that's not the point. The point is that the involvement takes on, and you become part of this cycle.
Incidentally, we have, of course, changed absolutely nothing to this music. Nothing. In fact, I haven't even done such thing as change a half note into 2/4 notes, except in stroking songs, where Schubert himself on one verse may have a half note, and on the next verse, in a stroking song, maybe two, because of the syllabification of the words, maybe 2/4 notes, and in the next verse he may have a 1/4 note and 2/8 notes. And so I've allowed myself that freedom to match the syllabification of my English. But in the non-stroking songs, we have taken not even that slight rhythmic liberty at all. We've taken no kind of liberty with Schubert's music as far as the notation is concerned. None of them. Nor with the keys, with the rhythmic sequence of keys as published tradition in Hyderabad's garage.
There is something else that has emerged, which is a consideration in song cycle performance that never had occurred to me, doing things in foreign languages, which is the problem of continuity. As soon as we had worked a little bit on this cycle, I realized that there is always the end of a song and then a piano introduction. And during the space of time from one song to the next song, usually a page turn. And I had found these page turns terribly annoying, just in rehearsal, because I had been so taken up in the mood created by the song, in the curiosity to follow that mood into the next key, into the next song, that I found that I had no desire to separate the songs at all and to treat them as isolated statements in any way. And quite the contrary, I felt a real need to express a real modulation, as it were, from one frame of mind into the following song. It necessitated, I felt, then being able to see what is the new chord, what is the new texture that I must get myself into before I get myself into it. You see what I mean? Just turning the page would black out the previous song and always produce with some element of surprise, no matter how well I knew the cycle, because I couldn't simultaneously take in the end and the new beginning. So I had a special blank book bound so that I could paste in pages in such a way as never to have a page turn at the end of the song. The bookbinder thought it was absolutely out of my mind.
Why would you want to do that?
It was a lovely older Viennese gentleman, very well trained. She said, "But you want the page turns in the middle of the song?" And he made me reiterate a couple of times. So we finally produced this rather cumbersome volume, but it has been a great boon to the achievement of the sense of uninterrupted, internalized flow.
When you have a perceptive page turner, as you do, this almost rhythmic and slow turn of the page during the song is not divisive at all.
No,
Whereas between songs, when nothing is going on, you notice it if the page turner then jumps to his or her feet and turns the page.
One of the biggest problems I've ever had in any performance I've ever done was how are we going to handle the page turn?
Yes.
And this is, I mean, a realization, and
Good idea, isn't it?
yes, that's great, especially that it's derived out of a feeling rather than the necessity of a TV camera or something like that.
I was going to say, it was for my own continuous output and input. I didn't wish to interrupt my own involvement in the subject matter itself and be distracted in any way by any mechanical.
What
By the same token, dude, I have the feeling that during the singing, that anything I need to do in the way of flute clearing, brow mopping,
right?
Head scratching, sweat removal, moistening of lips with tongue must be done during a song and not between songs. And I must be very careful in every movement of my body, every position of the body between songs. I can move a bit during the song, but between songs, I must do nothing that breaks the continuity, the feeling of ongoingness,
What is
It's the same thing in my terms as we talked about with the piano.
Again, I think what we're talking about here is communication.
Sure.
And how the two of you, Nancy Garniez and, am I saying it correctly?
Indeed.
And Richard Dyer-Bennet work together on these lovely songs. What is the form, the general form of most of these songs? Strophic, ABA, or what? Just as a point, can we make some comments on that? We don't have to, but
It uses many forms.
Yes, well, they're most of them strophic. They're most of them with several verses.
The first song is strophic, but the Bohemian is really
not all of them are. No.
The stay is not, giving thanks to the brook is not,
Are there any
is not.
Are there any composed?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. I would say about the first really strophic one is the Bonjour. Then Impatience, the underwood is. Morning reading, that's 3. The Milleress Flowers is 4. Shower of Tears, 5. Pine is not. Interlude is not. About the Green Ribbon is not. A Hunter is 2 verses, 6. Josephine Pride is not. The Cherished Colour is 7. The Equal Colour is not. Withered Flowers is not. The Mullerin, the Brook is not. And the Lullaby is. So 8 is 8. 8 out of 20 songs.
But you know, they stand out as a problematic song.
Yes.
Sure.
Those are always the ones that everyone says, "Oh, my gosh, to do? I'm on the 3rd verse and I've already played the piano, 4 days at the piano. What can I do?" And of course, this problem is totally eradicated by the comprehension of the accompanist and the audience. They are incredibly infinite.
They're so used to singing, for instance, long narrative ballads.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're not dull to me. A tale is a good tale, and the verse is good. And the verse is different. You don't even have to think about how to make it different. The story is at a different point in the story.
Yes,
And that's the lovely thing, is that all I have to think of is I tell the tale. And Nancy does exactly the right thing with the piano. She tells, in a sense, tells the tale with the piano. Every single verse is different.
Well, how about hearing on the tab?
Yes.
Fine.
Let's choose one of the track and do a phrase or two in German and then do it in English, so that we can really hear the difference.
That would be great.
Let's do the Feierabend on Holiday Evening. And let's sing the first few phrases of it in German, and then we'll start again, and I'll do it in English, so we make, through here, point of the difference in the communication.
Speaking to Richard Dyer-Bennet and Nancy Garniez. Richard Dyer-Bennet, what can I say? I loved it. I just, I see the translation, and I mean, I hear it in German. I'm used to hearing it in German. I think most of us are, and it works in English. This song cycle is out on your own album, isn't it?
This one I checked you. We recorded it in September after some hair-raising experiences of we started in July, set up the equipment in a lovely old concert hall in New England. Then the night after it was set up, it was the van was broken to the place in Soderville. It was special order equipment. We had to have it all made again. We started the second time, and the second time one of the mic stands collapsed because the van was the one bit of equipment the van was not taken, but they damaged it and we didn't know it. And the threading broke on the tightener in our first session, and the mic collapsed, smashed again. So then the next time the three of us could get together with our complicated schedules, one entirely third time. And I think on the 24th of September we finished it. So it's done, it's on tape. the album covers are being made now, and it'll be released shortly.
Great. And you have a performance coming up.
Yes, we had the first New York performance of it at the Alice Tully Hall on Saturday, January 22nd at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is an exciting date for me because this performance and the record together are, in a sense, the culmination of this sort of a decade of work. It's going to be very interesting. I have the feeling that we may be able to reach at least some people, if they will come to hear it and listen to the record, will reach some people who have not listened to it because it is in German. Sure. And and we're going to hear what a perfectly beautiful thing this is. I also hope to persuade some people who do know it already and love it in German that it can be done in English.
Well, I'm really happy that WBAI has the first grab on it. And I think it's history, in WBAI's history to get grabs on things like this, but I do want to say that it was Richard Dyer-Bennet who informed WBAI of his project, and we needed to step into it.
Well, I know you're interested in these things, and we've done some collaborative work before, years ago, when we recorded a whole series of lectures that I did at the new school. And I don't know whether that was before your time with WBAI or not, it was a decade ago, but I did a course one fall, and a 2-hour class, and for 15 weeks I think it was. And WBAI recorded the whole thing, and played it, scheduled it twice, I would say. I remember I got an irate letter from a man in New Jersey who listened to it, who was enraged at a tale that I told. I was quoting from one of Arthur Chester's books, and I quoted this riddle, which he thought was nonsense. He thought Chester was absolutely wrong about it. He wrote me an enraged letter about it.
I'm hoping, being an old WBAI subscriber and fan, that the WBAI listening audience lives up to its feeling in my heart and shows that they are interested in projects which are not the, if you'll pardon the expression, run the mill. Very unique concert experience with this in our experience with performing it. For the audience, it's quite an undertaking to be present and song cycle performance, which is accessible. And I'm hoping that some young singers will come, listen attentively, and envisage themselves in the privileged position of communicating in that kind of way with the larger public that this kind of interpretive work potentially opens up to the serious singer. And every singer who works this hard and works hard enough to even think of performing Schubert's song in public has it in his best interest to think of enlarging his audience and enlarging his own sense of his art so that it includes the many, many people who we have found have been surprisingly to themselves, in their words, moved into the very personal way that they have been.
Well, everyone that I have mentioned this too, that we were going to do the session this evening, was surprised and enthusiastic, and are waiting. It's a feat. I mean, to embark on this and to stay with it for the amount of time you have, and bringing it up to this point, and I know the amount of work that you are embarking on every day, the music being the thing it is to.
But very rewarding work.
Yeah.
It doesn't. In a way, it doesn't seem like work.
It's the kind of work that energizes.
Yes. Oh yes. One draws from it, and one is invigorated by it. After a performance, we've done several performances. We've done 3 performances, haven't we, Nancy? Yes, we've done 4 performances of it, out of town. And after the performance, after the exam, performance is gone, I think we both then feel, my goodness, you know, that was a real and energetic workout. But the music itself, the whole tale, the poetry, the poetic thing, and including in that, the music, is so exhilarating that during performance one just feels buoyed up by the material itself, you know. And afterwards you realize, yes, I want to into that.
As a performer, how, I know, what I'm really trying to say is, how does one feel after a concert? How do you feel? I mean, especially if it's related to this Schubert. Are you drained or are you overjoyed? The feelings. I'd like to get a little bit of that from you.
Well, Nancy, what would you say? What's your feeling, eh?
Well, I just had a tremendous release after Tom's the work of the magnitude of Schubert. It seems as though it's like going for a good swim or something. Very, not physically tired and emotionally very refreshed. It's a very just cleansing feeling to be as immersed and as the only word for it is open as one learns to be with a work that's complex and it's unpredictable. This work is entirely unpredictable. I'm sure it would be very different if you're doing a lesser work, where you dreaded, oh my goodness, this is again, I'll be able to do this again. Well, this is a work with which such problems simply don't arise. It is deceptively simple in its presentation at the very beginning, but there's simply no protecting exactly what is going to tap, and of course, with everything in the performance of it, you don't attempt to pin it down. The favorite undergraduate teachers would say, this is the song out, and then they give you the sort of German abstract noun, this is the one about hope, this is the one, and then it goes on there, and then the book has Schubert and the German page and start that one, and say, I don't feel hope. I don't feel, what is hope? You know, I can recall such agonizing sessions with various singing teachers over these, he said, well, we don't do this in this manner, this is not the point, and it should not be the point. And so it's a very total experience. And there's all satisfying total experience. It's like very satisfying.
It's a little different every time. As a good tale is, you know, when you hear a really marvelous tale, I don't mean a joke, but a real tale, and one enjoys telling it each time, and one tells it differently. In this case, the difference lies not in any change of words or change of a note, but in the sense in the timbre of the voice, the exact tempo that Nancy chooses for a song, the degree of brilliance or mellowness that she happens to feel that day and which I respond to in the song, because a good tale can be told in 5 different ways, provided that in each telling, the teller understands the story. You know, but the emphasis can be a little different each time, depending upon many things. One's in the mood at the moment, the size and shape of the room in which you're telling it, the kind of audience, the expression you see on the face of someone in the front row. All of these things can have an effect. And if one is answerable to these stimuli, it feeds the performance in a sense, and it can seem improvised. It can seem like real improvised storytelling, which I think the best musical performances, or stage performances for that matter, do seem. They seem that way. The moment you think about it, you realize all kinds of work went into do this precisely. But a really good performance on the stage, it really sounds as though those actors are not reciting memorized lines. They're talking to one another. Even if it's great language, even if it's the great Shakespearean language, the pentameter. But they can make it seem like a genuine conversation, thought and uttered at that moment. And that's what we try to do with the cycle in every way.
Well, could we have
All right. The first one will be the hunter, and this is not the order in which they come in the side, but these will be just two isolated songs. But this is the point at which the young fellow senses that a dangerous rival has appeared on the scene. The hunter.
How can the mill serve? See, insolent hunter, within your preserve. No wild beast is lurking, no day do I see. Here's but the shadow who is promised to be. And if you would see her, be patient and still, and bring all that thundering down to the mill, and leave being house back and thicket that form, and take from your lips and that indolent form, and shave from your chin that rough bristle of hair, or else the shy creature will vanish from fair, and shave from your chin that rough bristle of hair, or else the shy creature will vanish from fair. Work better you stayed in the woods where you were. Come out to the mill street and set all astir. What difference have fish on the branch of a tree? Or squirrels in water, what sense can there be? Go into the hunter back into the wood, and leave us alone at the mill as you should. But if you insist on impressing my dough, then listen, my friend, to what causes her woe. The wild boar come prowling at night from the wood, and trample her fine carriage started from blood. Rooting and thrusting, what damage they do. Oh, why don't you shoot when you hear a yell?
You have been listening to the program, A Discussion with Richard Dyer-Bennet, produced by Jude Quintier and edited and prepared for broadcast by Edward Haber. This program was recorded by David Grafton. I'm Jude Quintier. Thanks for listening, and good evening.